So this is Ron Shaw with FTE 217. Today's date is July 6th, 2025 for week 5's video assignment. Just run through. We're going to perform a dry function check, perform check with dummy rounds, and then detail what we'd be looking for in a live fire check. Part 2, we're going to assess the feel of the trigger, paying attention to the smoothness and difficulty of the pull. We'll also be measuring the barrel length and demonstrate, measure the barrel twist and demonstrate, test headspace and detail what would need to be done if the results were different, and measure firing pin protrusion, and that's all 6 parts. So first I'll grab the firearm, do a safety check, and then jump right into a dry function. So here's the firearm. We have no live ammunition in the area, and now to do the performance to clear the firearm, make sure it is safe to be worked on. No magazine. If I did, I would drop the magazine and make sure that there was no live ammunition. So now we will, and then lock the bolt in place. So now we can do a visual inspection, make sure that we have nothing in there, and as we can see, there's nothing in there. So now we can deem the firearm safe to be worked on. Moving into the dry fire. So dry fire test, we already cleared the firearm, made sure that was now safe. So check the safety function. So we are now going to go ahead and lock the bolt in. Firearm is on safe. We're going to pull the trigger a few times to make sure nothing happens. Change the selector over to fire and listen for the audible click. There's the audible click. Hold the trigger back, resetting the bolt. And then when we release it, we should be able to hear the audible click for the trigger reset. So now everything is set. And then with everything set, we were looking for smooth operations. We can manipulate the bolt just to verify that everything works. We can also manipulate the bolt catch, make sure that it works, and then we can also release the bolt catch, making sure that it works. Do a magazine drop. And then going into a dummy round simulation, we will grab our dummy rounds. I'm going to pause the video for this part. I only loaded 3 rounds for the dummy rounds. So we'll pull the charging handle back, and it should feed 1 round in, and then we can pull the trigger. And then we could extract and eject. And once the last one's been ejected, the bolt carrier BCG will lock into place on an empty magazine. On a live fire, we would be looking for locking, extracting, ejecting, looking for any discrepancies in any of those functions. Moving on to the feel of the trigger, selector goes from safe to fire, and what we're looking for is the feel of the trigger. So we need to make sure the bolt is closed, locked, and it should be a nice smooth action. Next, we'll measure the barrel using the cleaning rod, and we're going to insert that from the muzzle end, and we're going to remove any muzzle attachments. Pause this. So what we've done is we made sure that the bolt was locked up, and then we insert our cleaning rod from the muzzle end down the bore until it makes contact with the bolt face. Make a mark with white paint or a white marker, and then we measure that, giving us our barrel length. And this measures at 18 3/8, making it an 18-inch barrel. So now we're going to measure the twist rate. I've already got it set up with a cleaning rod, made a flag with tape, and have it inserted into the rifling. So once it's inserted into the rifling, we'll take our white colored pencil. We'll make a mark on our rod, and then we will we'll push the rod through and count. Once it makes a full revolution, then we can make our second mark. Push it back through all the way, remove our, come back through. And for the purpose of the video, our two marks are already measured. They were at 14 inches, and I made one revolution, so that is a twist rate of 1 to 14 for the purpose of the video. So on to measuring our headspace, we would remove the extractor, and then we would use our go gauge and no go gauge, and we would make sure when we were locking up to the barrel that it was flush with the barrel, and if it wasn't, we would then take the barrel, disassemble it, and send it back to manufacturer for replacement. Measuring fire pin protrusion, we use our fire pin protrusion tool and our caliper to measure. So we make sure that the bolt is locked, and then we take and push our firing pin to the stop, and then we would measure this, take that measurement down, and then we would push this against the firing pin so to get the protrusion, lock that in, and then we would take and measure that and go against our baseline measurement. And on this, our tolerance is going to be anywhere between 0.028 to 0.036. As long as it falls within that line, it passes.